Well, hey folks, Smudge here again. Well, my people's got to go meet with Doug and Stacy when they came to Ohio this weekend. They went to Kidron, to Lehmans. Quite the store. So, what follows is one of the Q&A sessions they had inside the store, and it was a packed house. So everyone, enjoy.
7.
1, 2, 3.
Love that stuff.
Yeah, how about the beautiful artwork here? Did you guys see these?
No glue, just all hand carved, all like from the same block of wood.
Hey, Glenda, you want to tell a quick story about these real quick?
Yeah, come on in. Everybody give it up for Glenda too. She's hosting the event.
Show of hands, how many have been to Lehmans before? Quite a few. Well, you were all welcome, first time or second or third time. These carvings are done by an Amishman who, like most Amish people, quit school in 8th grade, so he has no formal training. He starts out with a solid block of wood and he carves from the back towards the front. He does not glue pieces on. It's actually an engineering mind with an artist's hands. Each one takes about 3 months to do, although he doesn't work on it full time, and he doesn't sell any of them because he said then it would be a job as opposed to a labor of love.
And again, we thank you very much hosting the event, having us out. We really enjoyed it. We've always wanted to come here, and now we got boots on the ground.
Yay.
So a lot of people I know that watch our channel, you know, they're getting tuned on to your store, and we love it too. Why? Second generation family owned business, not sucked up by the corporate world. You know, they're offering you guys good stuff and stuff you can use on your homestead. It's very good stuff. Pass on to your kids. You know, we love that stuff. I know I'm looking for one gal, and I can't find her anywhere.
The little one?
Yeah, she was like, I don't know, I won't be able to see. I said, well, I'm gonna get you up front. I love this stuff. So we don't have anything planned. It was like, this was kind of a last minute to like have a little gathering and get together with you guys. Were there any more chairs at all, or we're just totally out of chairs even?
Well, we're out of chairs, we're probably out of capacity.
Yeah, because I thought maybe we'd squeeze like one more up here, but
If any
we got the
kids- you
whole
wanna
big
sit on the
family.
floor,
The
you
Brady bunch just got here. So they're outside the door there. Squeeze on in, come on in.
You guys can sit on the floor.
Yeah, you guys can Indian style it right here. Yeah. Awesome to see like the young families and everything. They're doing the thing. Learning how to grow food. They got goats and sheep.
Here, just come right
Come on in, don't be
Just come right
shy.
across.
They need the floor cleaned anyway. Come on in. Good stuff.
There are
Love it.
some benches we could set up here, you guys, we're fine.
They're cool.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you.
Yeah, because I thought we'd just do like a Q&A. So we'll just kind of raise your hand and
This
we'll
is
do some
like the
questions.
in-depth stuff, not like the YouTube live stuff. Like you guys can really get some good stuff here.
Yeah, so if you want to know like really in-depth stuff for sure, yeah, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Let's start at the beginning. How did you get into this? What made you change from the normal world into this?
Well, if you listen to a lot of our videos, the common theme is sick of the rat race, sick of paying taxes, sick of all the high bills. I mean, we were waking up every day just to support that system, right? And we just decided, man, we had enough of it. And then one of the other groundbreaking things that we did is when Stacy really started to investigate our food and our food sources, that like sent us over the top. So right then it was like, we're done with this. We're going to grow our own food. We want to get back. There's like this chain of knowledge, right, that's passed on from generation to generation. And I think basically society has successfully broken it from our grandparents and great-grandparents. So we're like out here like, we want this and we know there's that connection, but now we have to relearn these skills. So that was another thing too. Like we wanted to get back in, learn these skills, learn how to grow our own food.
And a big thing is our health. Like I was experiencing some health problems where I wasn't feeling good and I wasn't right, and then if you go to the doctor, they're like, everything's fine, you're looking good, and I know I'm not feeling good, and I felt terrible. So, you know, you start researching, I was taking classes, and you're learning, and just knowing that all the things that we're saying is good for us is not good for us, and we wanted to go back to the old ways. I was always like, you know, if it was here a couple hundred years ago, I'm gonna put that in my mouth, but if man is making it and processing it, putting it in a box, I don't want it, and I want to make sure that what I'm eating is pure, because my saying is, am I eating something, is it bringing me life or is it bringing me death? So when you eat your food, think about that when you're eating certain things, because that'll make you think a little differently when you're eating your food. Because food is supposed to give you energy, it's supposed to give you life, it's supposed to give you vitality and make you feel good. And here's the other thing. I'll give you a lot of information today. You can do something called a daylight diet, where you eat when the sun is up. Because when the sun starts going down, your body starts relaxing and going down, and then you eat a big meal when you're supposed to be relaxing, then it could cause indigestion, it could cause you not be able to sleep properly. Food is meant to give you energy, so you shouldn't be eating a big meal late at night. So just doing certain things like that could really help your health.
How many of you guys are familiar with like hunter-gatherers type stuff, right? I mean, back in the day, that's how we were designed. I mean, no one was hunting like at nighttime. So they would get their game in the morning, they would prepare it during the day, and then they would eat it, right? It almost just makes sense.
And that's what we call it food on demand. Yeah. So like if we want a chicken, we'll go out and get a chicken. Or if I have garden beds that he made me, and I also have like Back to Eden. So now I go out. Oh, I thought that was really an animal. I looked at it.
Everybody's coming to the off game with Doug and Stacy today.
So, like, I'll go out and I'll make my whole, and it's, you know how rewarding it is to go out to know that I raised this chicken and I'm having this, and I went out to my garden beds and I made my whole salad. Like we had, his mom came up and our son is back from Africa. He's back with his wife and we had everyone up. And I went out and I had my daughter-in-law's holding the bowl and I'm cutting all my food from my salad. Everything came from there. And we had a whole meal from our yard.
Everything we touched.
And I know where it's coming from, and I know I don't have any fillers. I don't have any artificially or processed things in it, and it makes me feel so good. So then when we have to go out and eat, we're like so bad.
Yeah, you guys are killing us. We've been on the road trying to meet you guys, and this food is like, ugh.
But we bring
a lot of food. Yeah.
I bring, certain things. I bring my butter with me. I'll bring my ripe salt. I bring all these things that I keep up. That's why I carry a big backpack, because I have all my things that I need if we have to go out. So when we order at a restaurant, I make sure I find out, do you guys use real butter?
Yeah, the lady was looking at us today like, what are we talking about? We got butter?
Well, no, she didn't cook with margarine.
And they had no idea.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like then we wanted blueberries and like the oatmeal, and Doug's like, are they real blueberries? But you gotta ask questions when you guys go out, right? Right? Okay.
Yeah, we always try to find it. And guys, if you spend a few extra bucks, always try to find like the grass-fed restaurants or stuff like that, farm-to-table restaurants. We found a great place in Columbus, which was really nice, and they had locally raised birds, and everything was fresh on the plate. The salad that we had was all like the Curtis Stone thing, like they're buying it from the market gardener guy and they're getting it fresh all the time. So now they're even bringing in some goodies that our friend baked in the back there. She has a live demonstration going on with cooking with the wood cook stove. So while you guys are milling around after this, you might want to go check that out. She'll get you all sauced up so you can get back on the road and go home this afternoon.
So what did you do in your previous life?
Which one? Our friend said we've reinvented ourselves so many times. It's like.
Well,
what did you do?
So I had a lawn care landscape business, like the largest in St. Charles County, that I grew from the kitchen card table in our house, just like Dave Ramsey says.
Yeah.
So basically, I was working for somebody. I'd worked for myself most of my life, right? And then I came to this point where like I worked for somebody else, and then that was driving me nuts because I'm like this free energy kind of guy. And so we sat down and we just thought about what kind of business could I start that was low impact, like, as far as like knowing a lot of stuff and money involvement. And we came up with the lawn care thing. So my sons and I, we started handing out flyers door to door. And the only reason why I'm telling you the full in-depth story is because you guys are always asking how to make money and live this life. And you can actually cut lawns and make this money and live the life you want to live. So we started that company up, and then I kept going, and then we got bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden we were employing like 20, 30 people. We had trucks going all over the place, and it was just kind of that thing. And then we also had like not really a store like this, but a brick and mortar store where we sold hats and sunglasses and all this. And Stacy's been self-employed for 30 plus years too, so.
Yeah, I do like holistic lifestyle coaching, and I do corrective exercise with seniors, and I do movement education and health education in Montessori schools with young children. So I kind of do, it's like my own business, so I go in and and that's what I do 2 days a week now. So basically, he's there all the time at the farm, and I work 2 days a week. Not lately. So, and then, you know, that's kind of what we're doing. But you get to a point, because I always said, I'm never going to stop working. And then I'm
She
like,
did too.
oh.
And she was doing it 5 days a week traveling. We basically drew a circle on the map where we lived. And we said, this is how far we'd be willing to commute, or she would be. And then, so when she started doing it, she's like, oh, I want to work. I'm going to go 5 days a week. And then like, well, what if I just did 3 days a week? What if I just do 2 days a week? And I told her, pretty soon you're not going to go. And she's like, no, I love it, because she loves the kids. We have this like passion to teach people, I guess. And that's our Achilles heel, I guess. But
then the longer, you know, you have your animals, you have just, I like the peace. And then the other thing, okay, a big killer for people is stress, right?
Right.
So when you're out there in nature, and that's what a lot of us are losing, is that connection with nature. And we need that connection. You know, Doug and I, we like to go barefoot a lot. If you guys watch our channel, we like to go barefoot. So barefoot connects you to the earth. So I just miss that when I'm not out with my land and I can't hear my birds and I don't have the trees and I don't see the grass and I don't have the wind. I just feel like I'm all cooped up now. Before, when I was living in the city, I could
Never
care
worry
less about it.
Right.
Now it's like something is pulling me towards that, and it's so healing and so, I mean, it's just huge. And these simple things, people think you got to take this pill to make you get better. It doesn't. If you drink good clean water, not tap water, you know, good clean water, purified water, and you're out in the sun, you know, with the nature and connecting, getting that 3D thing all around you, just doing those couple things and getting the right amount of sleep, that can cure a lot of problems.
Right.
Most people don't drink enough water. And water can cure, I mean, a ton of ailments. If you're constipated, if you're suffering headaches. I mean, there's lots of things that water can cure. You know, arthritis, I mean, it could cure a lot of different things. But I'm not a doctor.
And then you get chronic, you
TV.
get chronic dehydration. So one day you're not drinking enough, the next day you drink a little bit, but you're not drinking enough because you're already behind from the day before. And then as you age, that's why you have high rates of Alzheimer's. And
yeah, your brain is mostly made up of water and fat.
Oh, I listen to stuff, okay. That's her thing, but I listen to stuff.
But yeah, water's huge. So
Yeah.
if you're not drinking enough water, I mean, you should be peeing, you know, 4, 5, 6 times a day, easy. If you're only peeing once a day,
Hold on,
you're
I'll
not
be
doing it right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Seriously, you got to get that
It's our
water.
new shirt. Don't worry, we'll have it soon.
And then
You're
here's
not
my other
peeing 4
thing.
times a day, you're not doing it right.
If you guys are, that's a good idea. If a good thing to do, and I was talking to some people about blood pressure. Okay, your blood pressure, you have high blood pressure. One really easy thing you could do is in the morning drink a room temperature or warm glass of water with a half of a lemon in it, because it's very good to help dilute like your blood vessels, to kind of let them expand. And also it's good detoxifier for your body, to get your body charged up, ready to go, and you feel like your eyelids just got pulled over and you just woke up. It's amazing, just doing this first thing in the morning. So lemon in your water and getting sunlight, getting your sleep. I mean, look at that.
Yeah. All
I
right.
mean, huge.
More questions. Woo! Lay off this health stuff. We're never going to get out of here. Go ahead.
What do you feed your chickens? Because it's hard to find commercially available.
That's my job.
Good food. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I'm going to sit over here.
I'll talk about I make handmade, not handmade, but I make my chicken feed by buying bags of different things. So I go to my co-op or farm and home place or wherever, and the girl knows me, and I have her find me whatever's like if wheat's in season, then I'll get my wheat. It might be $9 a bag for a 50-pound bag. I always use oats. So like, you want to look at your protein content and all that. And I did a video on it. We did a video on
Yeah, it's right here.
And my math was not right. I didn't do it right, but this is the premise of making homemade
Right.
feed. I just do like 50-pound bags. I have a big trash can, and I'll put oats in there, and I do black oiled sunflower seed is my key, because it's very high in protein and they all love it and it's so good for them. So I do the black oiled sunflower seeds, and I do
Non-GMO,
oats.
because they don't GMO sunflower seeds.
Right.
Oats, no GMO sunflower, or no GMO oats. So everything that we get is non-GMO, right?
So those are my 2 staples that I always use. And then I'll mix and match different things, like if it's wheat, if wheat's in season, or millet, or you could do flax seeds are very high.
Kelp.
I get kelp. Now kelp, Thorvin kelp, it's a really good good brand. It's an organic brand. Kelp is really good because it has iodine in it, and iodine is great for your livestock to help with them with keep controlling their temperature. We give it to our sheep. You can give it to your goats. I give it to my horses. I give it to Doug. I give it to me. I don't do the actual. I give kelp to all the livestock, and we also take it because we need iodine too. But I don't take the Thorvin kelp I give the animals. I do a different kind of kelp. But I put that in my chicken feed. I just kind of mix and match, and then I'll get organic, the non-GMO corn. So like in the winter months, I do the whole corn to keep them warmer, and then in the summer months, I'll do the cracked corn. Or rolled, they call it different things. Yeah. So those are kind of like my basics, and I'll mix that all up really, really good, and then there you go. Like sometimes you can go and get like lentils or like peas, like dried peas and stuff like that, bags. If you go to the Ding and Dent store for 10 cents or something, you can get them. I'll throw those in there, it makes it look prettier. I mean, just different things like that, and I just mix it all up, and they love it.
Our chickens be snubbing our food. That's not pretty enough.
Yeah. But those are my main ones are always sunflower seeds, and then the oats, and then I'll do the corn. Sometimes I don't do the corn. Sometimes I do flax seeds. Sometimes you can do rye. You could do, look around at different things. Birds like all kinds of
try to get it in
seeds.
season, then it's going to be a lot less expensive.
It'll be cheaper. But oats are always cheap usually, and your corn's cheap if you find some GMO.
And if you get the metal trash cans, you can buy in season and then store in there. And we also have some plastic tubs that are like barrels, and they have a crank lid on them, and you can store stuff in there too to keep the mice and the raccoons out.
Yeah, so when the black oil sunflower seeds go on sale,
that's when we
because I can get a 50-pound bag for like $16 when they're on sale. I'll stock up and I put them in my big thing and I keep them out in the barn because the sunflower seeds will last you a really, really, really long time.
All right, next. Go ahead.
Just an add-on to what you guys were just talking about. Do you ever give them mealworms, and how do you keep your water from freezing in the wintertime being off grid?
Do we give them mealworms? When I get them, I give them mealworms, yes. For treats, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So usually it's 2x4 or it's my foot. That's how we keep the water from freezing in the winter. So we also use like, instead of like, so like the horses have a trough basically, and I kind of get them away from that, and then I send them over to the pond. I can keep a hole in the pond pretty easy. The troughs, even the plastic ones, they'll bust out from freezing. So I don't really keep water in there. The sheep, though, I use the lick tubs from like cows or whatever, and even the sheep. And then I just fill those with water. And they're really easy, like your normal thing. You can flip them over, hit them, and then get the ice out and then restock them. So that's why if you watch our videos, our sheep will migrate from the right side of our property where it's roof catchment, rainwater, stuff like that. And then in the wintertime, I'll get them over to where the hydrant is from our gravity-fed water system because I don't keep any water in those outside tanks.
So when you were building your house, and those are great videos by the way, we really enjoy those. You talk specifically about the oak that you use for your cabin.
Right.
Were there any other alternatives that you were like, should we look at this one, or was it no, this is what I want?
So the minute you see termites don't like to eat it, that's it. That was it. White oak, and a lot of the log cabins like in our area, they're still standing. If you saw the Daniel Boone when we did the Daniel Boone vacation, Homestead field trip Friday thing, those have been around for almost 200 years, and they're still perfectly good to go. So I knew like right away that was a good long.
You can't even
I could barely shoot my 45 or 223 through them. I had spares, and I was like, and it was like barely getting through, man. I'm like, we're even safe in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm like, I want something hung up, and it's like an ordeal to get something hung up. I'm like, please, will you do it? And it's like, it takes him forever because he won't do it because it's so hard.
Drive a nail at bins, but you guys know those cowboy movies or whatever, the old houses, how they had the shutters to close? You know why the cross was in there? Yeah, so they could stick the rifles through. So that's what that is, right? It's not like this religious statement, but it's like, that's what it was for defending the house, right? I don't know, some people never knew that. I didn't find out for just a couple of years. Go ahead.
How do you care for your animal medicine? Do you use diatomaceous earth to worm the goats?
We definitely use diatomaceous earth.
I buy that in 50-pound bags too. I have everything in 50 pounds. The diatomaceous earth and kelp are my two big supplements that I put in their feed. And what I'll do is, I was doing the DE like all the time, But what I'll do is I might do it for a month or two straight, and then I'll stop doing it, and then I'll do it a month or two straight.
And another big thing about load for parasites is rotational grazing, right? So we're moving our sheep every 30 days, and our chickens have open range, not free range. They're open. They can go wherever they want, and so they're always moving around. We really, 7 years, maybe we wormed them like,
well, when we first,
one time.
you know, when we first got into this,
medicine from
we were like, we would call the vet. We didn't know what was up because we.
Not really. That was twice we called.
No, that was at the very beginning.
Yeah, but
with
that
the
was
horse.
twice.
We want to tell the story about the horse.
Of course. Thanks for letting me talk, honey. So no, we had a horse and we had the Belgians, right? So the female, she had like something was up with her eye, like it got all
it
crazy,
looked like a
it
horror
was bulging
movie.
out and
It was
everything.
terrible,
So
yeah. We
you know,
freaked out because we didn't know.
we did the black
never-
tea and we tried to treat it kind of holistically at first, but then we called the vet out. They just gave us some ointment and said it's gonna be
Well,
fine.
no, what happened was you forgot the story. So it was really bad, and so I did all the stuff, and in the morning we had already called the vet, said he'll be there in the morning, and then when we went out to look at her, it had totally gone away, and then the vet came. Is what happened.
All right, that's a great story.
Yeah,
Who's next?
But I'm just saying, hey, let me finish. So what I was saying is, with the animals, you usually freak out when you first get them. So holistically, when you're talking about the animals, we kind of went through calling the vet. Well, I got to the point where I can deal with all my animals. I feel very confident,
Now,
really
yeah,
never
for sure.
having to call
Yeah.
the vet for anything. Unless it's, major something.
Right.
But I can control them, like if they're like compacted, can't go to the bathroom, I'm gonna give them olive
Egg
oil.
laden and all that.
I can control and do a lot of different things.
And you
through-
can too.
Yeah,
Just takes a little confidence.
yeah.
Did you have one?
Yeah, I know you live in the Amish community, and this story ties right into it. How often do you go to them for help on things like that, or for learning? Did you learn?
I'll tell this story, and I'll actually tell it. So when we bought the property, it was the craziest
I
thing.
know about the burned shirt.
Yeah, the burnt shirt. That was a good story though, wasn't it? That when we bought that property, it was the craziest thing because I found it on the internet, right? So I was like, I went up there, I talked to the guy, I looked around, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. I called her, so we said, yeah, we're gonna buy it. So we got there and I built a log cabin and I put the last shingle on the roof. I'm up on the roof. I had the gate locked, right? Because it was more of a prepper mentality when we first got there. So it was like, this is my property and no one's coming on it. And I locked the front gate and I was working on the roof and I looked up and there's like this 70-something, 80-year-old woman walking down my driveway. And I'm like, I know she didn't just climb over my fence. So I get down and I start talking to her, and she was a neighbor of ours. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm like, man, I lived in the city. Like, I had people like right there next to me and right there next to me. I barely ever talked to them. She climbed my fence and came down my driveway to talk to me. So she actually turned out to be a mentor for Stacy, teaching her some stuff and sharing the old ways. But through that, she was like, oh, the Amish live 7 miles away and they have like eggs and all this stuff. And Stacy was like, oh, wow.
Goody.
So she rode over with her and met this guy, Noah. And then she comes home and she's like, oh, you're going to love it and you'll love this guy and we should go over there and all this. And so I went right over there, right? I'm like, hey, dude, and he was like on his Belgians, like bringing his wagon in and all this. And I was like, yeah, I told him the story. And so I hung out with him basically as the end game. And he taught me like fencing and all that kind of animal care stuff, and then that's how we got more comfortable. And so.
I was just wondering, because coming out of the city, how you picked up on all this.
Right, that was it basically, because I was going over there a lot. Like the first couple of years, I wasn't really YouTubing. Like I didn't do a ton of YouTube then. We were just doing a video maybe once in a while. And so all that time I was out apprenticing with him. I was riding my buggy over to their houses. Like they would be like, "There's Doug." You know what I mean? So I was really immersed in the whole thing.
The kids would be like, well,
Right.
where's Doug? Yeah, where's Doug? They
Yeah.
go, where's Smokey? Because our horse is Smokey and they all like Smokey.
Right.
And so we would do, and then what I started doing is going over to the ladies' houses
Right.
and asking them to show me how to butcher, and I would hang out and help them. I give them rides. I barter things with
Yep.
them. I mean, I'm really, good friends with all of them. We go over there and hang out, help the kids. The young girls are getting married.
And it's
we
kind of a
do
tough
things, and
relationship
it's
to
like,
crack, because they kind of are private people. So you guys want to hear another funny story? I don't think we've ever told this. We might have once, but so when we first got there and we're living off grid, no electricity, they're freaking out because like normally the Amish are leaving to go get that stuff, but no one's really coming in like from city folks, right? So we're doing the thing and they're passing their stories around, and all of a sudden it comes up that Stacy and I are fugitives from the law. Hold on, they might not have heard it. That we were fugitives, and that wasn't our real name. And that they even invented names. And they said these are their names. And so what happened was, like, we were going to the stores and doing the thing with the people, and Stacy's like, I don't know. They're just not treating me the same. Something's up. And I'm like blowing her off like a husband, right? Like, oh, don't, just, you're crazy. Everything's fine. You know, everything, they love us, whatever. And she's like, no, I'm telling you. And then, so then we went back to another time, and then she goes, I'm telling you, something's up. Well, then I talked to Noah, and Noah came clean and said, yeah, they totally think you guys are fugitives from the law. They were shunning us. Like, they were telling us, like, we don't want to deal with you. So, man, I talked to Noah, and then I talked to the bishop and a couple other people. I took my deed, I took my all my taxes, my picture IDs, everything over there, and I laid it all out on the table, and I said, no. So we told them, you know, you guys are wrong, and then we were all good and stuff. But you know, but it's good to have mentors. So that's why another reason why Stacy and I are passionately trying to share our videos with you guys on YouTube is so you can pick up those nuggets, and we can kind of help you along, you know, to be mentors. You know.
Yeah, because it really helps to go and when you get recipes from them, and then I give them recipes, and we can just kind of pass back and forth, and it really helps. It helps me, and then they get ideas from me, and it's a very good.
What was the squash or something? They said, oh, you can eat that? What was that when you told them?
Oh yeah, because you know the Amish can everything, right? So this was just this past summer, and it was one of the girls, and I had brought over the squash, or no, I was over there. They were canning it. They were spaghetti squash. It was acorn squash. And I went ahead and I picked it up and I put it in my mouth, and she looked at me and she said,
she just ate
"Ooh, you can eat that like that?" And I said, "Yeah, it's really
the best.
good."
Right.
And she's like, "Wow," because they'd always
and then they started doing it.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this on their channel, don't be stealing my story. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. Have you ever thought of making more playlists on your YouTube channel to try and so it makes it easier to find some of those 500 and some?
Stay tuned. I mean, we're trying. You know, I mean, we're gonna be home now. This is our last thing, the big hurrah for the end of this year. So we have we're gonna have playlists coming out of cooking on the wood cook stove. That's gonna be really good. Then we're gonna try to divide up some of the videos we've already done. If you notice, if you hit the playlist tab, like you'll see them on our homepage, but if you hit the playlist tab, you'll even see more, and we'll just keep trying to add to it. Yeah.
Because there's that big chunk.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm a one-man show. I gotta film, edit, come up with the ideas, her ideas, and she doesn't do none of it. She doesn't help me out. All right, go ahead.
We have a huge hawk problem with our chickens.
Okay.
How can we deal with this? Because I mean, they're waiting for.
Are they in a run?
Well, we have them in right now because they're trying to attack them.
Right. So what we do, and you know, this is what we do. We have dogs outside, and our Airedale will actually chase them away. She sees them coming in, and eagles too. We have bald eagles in our area, and she actually chases them away.
It's crazy. She does.
But what you could do too is increase your run size and then put the netting. You know, they make netting for the tops, or you could use. People use fishing wire, and I think where's Terry? If you could talk to Terry. He has a buddy that has actually invented or has this thing, and they put it across the top of that kind of stuff, and it makes like this noise that the birds can't stand.
It's like crinkly paper kind of stuff.
Not crinkly. It's just what it's made out of, the way it hits the wind or something. But ask him because he'll know more about it than I do. Terry, the elderberry guy. But our dogs work great for that. People ask how do raccoons and possums and everything eating your stuff. We keep our Airedale outside. We're gonna have another little puppy.
We're getting
coming.
a puppy, guys, next Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna melt your hearts with those videos. And we're gonna show you guys how to start off a dog on a raw food diet too. So, yeah, it's good stuff. All right, go ahead.
What would you recommend? You're ready to get out of the city and you're ready to. What advice would you give about buying land? What you're looking for?
The first thing you're looking for is regulations. You want to talk to your county and make sure you know your state stuff, because you do not want to buy a piece of place where you got busybodies telling you what you can do and can't do all the time. That's exactly why you're leaving the city. So number one thing you do, I made sure I made a call down there, and I went down there in person, and I asked them, what are your regulations and building codes? And the lady, when she said, we don't have none of that nonsense around here, I was like, cool, I'm buying that property. So number one thing to look at. Then, unlike us, it's going to be like water source and ability to build a place and surround it. Like you have a heavily forested area, then you got to knock down trees and stuff. So have a little patch where you can do your thing, have trees around it, just stuff like that basically. But water, sunlight, and regulations and stuff.
And the other thing is to check your area and kind of know how the wind blows, you know what I mean, and see how the hill is. Spend some time there, maybe go different times a day.
A lot of times if you're, looking at land, maybe go and ask the guy, hey, I like this property, I'm pretty serious about it. I want to throw a tent up for a night or two. Sure. So you can see how the sun comes up, how the water drains off the property if it rains, just stuff like that, right? Because honestly, looking back on it, don't follow what we did because we're crazy wild people. So, I never even realized that I have like a 10-foot drop from the front of my drive to the back where my woods are. I never even realized it. Now, it's really good for drainage and stuff like that, but I just never even realized it. So it's just stuff like that. If you spend time on the land, you'll be able to take that into consideration. Luckily, I have good luck on my side, so I built the house in the right spot. Everything is coming together pretty good, and it actually turned out good because I'm downhill from the barn, and I put the rainwater catchment system in, and it was able to gravity feed all the way down. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that was good for our water.
Yeah,
we have great water pressure. It works out really good.
Because I thought about putting the house way over by the pond. So if I would have done that,
well, we didn't. Here's the other cost. If you think about it, your driveway costs a lot of money.
But I'm just saying, I was thinking about like having the house closer to the pond so we could sit on the back porch and look at the pond. I thought that was really cute. But for some reason, I just didn't, and it turned out great because piping that water all the way over to the pond would have made a big difference in our pressure and how much water and everything, cost of pipe and everything else.
And when you're budgeting, your driveway costs a lot of money. the
and
gravel,
don't go in debt
gravel.
Again. Yeah. Don't leave the city life in debt and then go out to the country and then you're like buying everything on credit, trying to build up your place too fast. It's just crash and burn, man. You want that freedom. Try to pay cash as much as you can. Go ahead, little homie.
Caleb.
How did you get your logs on your walk home not to roll onto your car?
How did you get your logs when you were building the house? How did you get your logs to stay there? How did you get them up there?
So when we first got there, I bought the wrong size tractor, which turned out to be a blessing again. I got the big old tractor because I had no idea like what kind of tractor does 11 acres need, right? So I bought a big Allison Chalmers and it had a bucket on it. And it actually turned out good because I was able to use that to lift all the logs up into place. So, and they're only like gravity pretty much. Gravity holds them down.
It's like Lincoln Logs.
Every second or third row, I ran some rebar from the top piece down through the second piece just to keep from the bowing outward and, keep it a little more stable. But pretty much, they're all just independently sitting on top of each other.
So, I like your outdoor garden or your outdoor kitchen.
Yep.
Me too.
Other than the videos that you've already shared, being that this is the last trip for the year, any hot tips that you didn't share on the videos regarding that in your garden, your fenced-in garden this year, anything?
No.
That you're like, okay, end of the year.
Hire someone to do your concrete.
Yeah, hire someone. My buddy says he doesn't really do concrete, but he said that because of that, he'll never do it again. He was just up the other day and we were talking about that. No, we share everything with that. Definitely, we would say if you can afford it or can build it, do it because it's a huge asset to the homestead, Like when we did the Daniel Boone thing, that's how things have been set up and laid out, from early 1700s on up. These are just things that we've lost knowledge of, and then they put us all inside of one box when really it was like a multitude of buildings that had everything going on, and it's so good. You go out there, it's not hot, it's not stuffy, we can get more people, we can socialize,
Oh, for me, it is.
She loves it.
It is a blessing. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
So the tip to all your husbands, if you get your wife to wait a couple years, when you do this stuff, it really turns out nice. They really appreciate it. All right, go ahead.
Stacey, you mentioned a book. I'm sorry. There may be no answer. A book that you use that's like your Bible of home remedies?
Nourishing Tradition.
By Sally Fowler.
Okay.
And actually, in every one of our videos, no matter which one you click on, if you click the description box, there'll be of all the books we recommend and the Amazon links. Yeah, we make like 0.2 cents or whatever, but everything that we recommend for books and literature and tools and Lehman's website, all that stuff is down there below. Yep. Go ahead, little man.
Do you
Is it attacking other roosters or just other chickens? Your rooster is attacking your hens.
How's he attacking it? Like fighting it or wanting to get on top of it?
Because that's not attacking.
Because it looks like that. Right. They're fertilizing. Rooster's fertilizing the hen, so it can. Then it'll have when you have the egg and the hen sits on it, then it'll go ahead and hatch.
And that's what he does too. Days. He'll peck at the back of their head. He'll
and they
pull
look
on their
kind of
neck.
mean doing it, but that's how they do it.
Like if they would be like pecking the feathers.
Yeah, that's what they do sometimes.
And then sometimes on their back it'll go bare too, like you can see their skin there too.
They do have like little jackets that you can buy for them, the hens. Did you guys know that? Yeah. Do you have one? Yeah. But the rooster's just doing his job. Sometimes they're just like that. Yeah.
A little aggressive.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How many children did you guys have?
3 and 3 grandchildren. Killing it. Except my boys. I don't know what's up with them. My daughter's the one, she's the baby machine. But I need this name to go on. You know, the father always wants his name to continue on, and I've been on them boys. Go ahead.
What was your children's reaction when you decided?
We're crazy enough, it never even phased them.
Yeah, they're good.
They were like, yeah, that's cool.
The grandkids like to come up, and then the boys, that they're getting older now, they love it. And we always did outdoor things and stuff, so everyone loves it.
We were hikers and backpackers and whitewater rafters, and we took them to Alaska and did the, what is it? Dog sledding on a glacier. I mean, so they were just like, oh, that's cool.
Yep, and they have a place to come visit.
Go ahead.
What would you plant in your garden to make the biggest impact on your health?
Ooh, she gets
You can't just pick one thing. Okay, well, if I would say one thing category, herbs.
Yeah.
Herbs. They're so healing and so wonderful, and you only need, like a little handful. You can put it in there. You can dry them or you can eat them raw. Put them in your salads. Just put them on the side. When you go to a restaurant and they give you the parsley or whatever, make sure you eat it.
Yeah,
all that stuff is so good for you. But make sure when you're doing your garden, and what's really helped me out a lot is in my raised beds that I have up, the high ones like that. I put everything. I just kind of mix and match. I'll make sure I have herbs. I make sure I have, Swiss chard, I might have kale over here, I might have spinach over here, I might have some peppers over here. I mix everything all together. I'll just say, okay, I'm gonna try this, and then I have a whole bunch of beds doing all the different things, because if one gets sick or gets a bug or a disease or whatever, then I know I have a whole bunch of other ones over here, and I always have insurance everywhere, so I just try some planting.
That's our insurance.
Yeah, but make sure you plant herbs with everything. And then the other thing, I'm a big advocate of greens. Greens are the most healthy things you could have. Swiss chard, kale, bok choys, any of your like romaine lettuces, all those things like that are just great. Your beets, your turnip greens, your mustard greens, any kind of greens you guys need to start putting in your garden, because they are so healthy. They're so high in calcium, magnesium, potassium, all those things that our body needs. So greens and herbs, I guess I'll pick those.
And you guys know we're huge on fermenting, because we want to teach you guys to eat live foods, try to not can as much as possible. But also, like you guys see us using the All-American Sun Oven all the time, that's great for dehydrating your herbs and your tomatoes and your peppers, and it just keeps the heat down in your house. So even electric or non-electric, it uses less wood for us or whatever. This is an investment in your future and in your life. I mean, this is something that you guys can have, you can pass down to your kids. They last a long time. Paul does a really good job getting the word out and trying to teach you guys how to use it. I mean, he even drove to our house so we could make that video, probably most of you guys have seen. So, and he does humanitarian work, so I just wanted to throw that in there for Paul. I respect what he's doing. We've developed a friendship, and so if you don't have one, I'm bust you up. So you guys save up that money and get an All-American Sun Oven. It really is a huge thing that you can do for your homestead. Go ahead.
Both of you are in very good health.
Yeah.
And what do you think you're going to be doing in 30 or 40
Same thing. We're going to be posting YouTube. I'm going to be like this. You've been on YouTube for 30 years. I mean, who knows, bro? I mean, we wake up every day, take one day at a time. You know, we try to plan for the future, but there's no telling. You know what I mean? Don't get mad at us if we end up on Harleys in a condo somewhere, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, don't ever say never, right, guys?
Right. Because I'm telling you, like, if you guys rewinded the clock and you came up to us and said, hey, you know what? In 10 years, you guys are going to be living with no electricity in a log cabin and raising animals and growing your own food, we'd have been like, what? So it's like, we're just not pinned down people like that, so.
But I will
know.
say, I will always live out in the country.
Right, she loves it.
I
We
can-
love it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It's a part of us now. You know, we've kind of made that reconnection, so we don't want to break that again. You know, but I would imagine that we will be living on the homestead, growing our food, being able, you know, as you guys age in place, like we can do a lot now. So as we age in place, we're just kind of shrinking those responsibilities, right? So we will definitely be growing our own food in the garden. We'll probably have, instead of 10 or 20 sheep, maybe 2 or 3 and a ram, so we can still get a little meat, you know, just stuff like that, right? We just shrink down the responsibilities so it's not that. But the more you use your body, the more you stay in shape, the better you eat your food and drink lots of water, you'll be able to carry that lifestyle as long as you can. We got people in our neighborhood 80 years old and she's still out there riding the tractor and farming her own land, you know. So
And the thing is, and I kind of wanted to do a video on this.
Stay tuned.
You know when you have to carry your 5-gallon buckets around all the time?
Oh, don't tell them, that's a spoiler
No,
alert.
it's no big deal. You guys can find out. But you know, a lot of people you could get tendonitis.
Right.
Does anyone get their elbows bothered? You know why? You know
Dang
why?
it, don't
Yes.
tell them this is a great
I'm gonna
video.
tell you.
They're here and they make videos, they're gonna get it.
I'll tell you guys. So this is what you got to do. Just when you get tendonitis, it's because you know you're overusing the joint, and then
Right.
your arm locks out. So when you carry your buckets, just bend your elbows just a little bit when
Right.
you're carrying them, and make sure you put your shoulders back, and then you walk, and then it'll help a lot.
Another great thing you can do too is get a yoke that Lehman sells. They actually have a yoke for your shoulders, and you can carry each bucket on each side. But she is the queen of carrying buckets. I mean, she hauled water for years until we got the
4
cistern
years,
put in,
yeah.
right? And so she was hauling buckets everywhere.
So I've been through all that, and I know I that's what I work with, injury, and then all of a sudden I was getting tendonitis from carrying all this. So make sure you bend your elbows a little bit.
What I used to tell
and
you.
walk.
What I used to tell you.
Carry it on.
I told her, don't be complaining. I said, them girls in Africa carry that big old water bowls on their head like 25 miles, you know. That was our little homestead funny. Go ahead.
Apple cider vinegar.
Uh-huh.
Can you just buy it and bring out regular, or do you have to have it with the mother?
It has to be with the mother, because otherwise it's pasteurized, so everything you're trying to drink it for has been killed, right?
So it does no good just to drink.
That's right. So you want it to be cloudy, you know. So when you guys get it, Bragg's is a good brand, but there's other ones out there.
A lot of
Just-
people are
it
making
has
apple
to be
cider
cloudy.
vinegar now.
Yeah, it's so easy to make. You got yours started? Right. Did you follow our video?
Yeah,
for
good. Yeah, apple cider vinegar. Oh, and you had asked about the chickens. Someone about the chicken feed. I give my chickens and my sheep. Everyone gets apple cider vinegar in their water.
That helps
also.
with the worm loads
Yeah,
and
just
stuff too,
just
right?
helps with your
general
immune
health.
system.
Right.
But yeah, for people, you know, drinking your apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon or 2, and some water is great. You can put it, and then we did the Haymaker's Punch video.
Love it.
Yeah, Haymaker's Punch is really good with the raw apple cider vinegar. And then we also did a video on shrubs, the 1800 drink that's made with the
Like
berries.
elderberry, right?
Your berries, and then 1 part berry, 1 part honey, 1 part apple cider vinegar, and that's also very good.
Very
and then
good.
that way, if you can't tolerate the taste of the vinegar, you can do it that way.
And that's a little different than the Haymaker's Punch, which you could just drink like a whole big jug of or whatever, but not really a whole big jug, but you know, a larger cup. But with the shrub, you just want to use a little bit, and then you mix it in with your water, or even like a carbonated water too.
What's the haymaker's punch?
Well, you gotta watch the video. But if you just type in drink from the 1800s, it'll be right there for you.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a garlic and a honey.
Not
and,
garlic.
Not garlic,
It's
but
lemons and
ginger. Right, right.
and raw apple cider vinegar.
You can throw some garlic in
there. That would be good. It wouldn't taste as good, but it would be good.
Keep the vampires away. All right, go ahead.
Say that your wood burner broke and it's like a cloudy day. Would you have like kind of like a backup thing to cook for?
Are you talking about if the sun oven, if it wasn't sunny out with the
Yeah.
sun? Yes,
Or
we.
like a backup.
I mean, we use some propane too, right? So we got a grill or, you know, the 3-burner thing. We have that little stove you saw from Camp Chef, right? So we have that kind of stuff.
We have their grill.
And you know, a popular belief would have you to think that you can't live without a meal. maybe just don't eat that day, right?
Okay,
Give your
so
body time to clear out.
Here's the other thing. We'll talk about health again.
Come on, girl.
You guys have heard a lot about intermittent fasting or fasting. Okay, like we feed our dogs a raw food diet. You're not supposed to have stuff in your belly all the time. You need time for it to kind of go through you. And if you eat constantly over all, especially a big meal. So we ate a little later last night. So this morning, I really wouldn't want to eat anything because I wasn't really hungry. So if you're not hungry, maybe don't eat. You need time for your body to kind of, if you keep packing food in there, it's just going to keep packing in your bowels and all that, and then it's harder for you to go to the bathroom. I mean, you need to go to the bathroom every day.
It's good to have a break from eating.
So you need that time.
Hunter-gatherer, right? They weren't hunting every 2 hours and eating food every 2 hours. You would eat, and then that might be your meal to the next kill, right?
And then dogs, like I have to fast my dogs once a week or so. She doesn't get food for like a whole day because that's what causes the parasites and causes disease and all that. And with fasting, even if you go for an animal, if they go 2 or 3 days, what that does is it resets your immune system. So there's a lot of people now, you're seeing a lot more stuff, people that are fasting. You're seeing people going on 3-day fasts and all that because it does certain things, and they'll do water fasting. But a lot of times, look, if you're interested in doing a fasting, maybe talk to a naturopath or, a doctor, if you're interested to do that, especially if you're on medicines or anything like that. But fasting is good. Let's say you ate at night, maybe don't eat again until noon, unless you have diabetes or you're having a problem. But just maybe don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe try eating, we call it dinner. We like to eat earlier in the day.
We break the fast with breakfast because we've fasted for 12 hours because we've been asleep. And then we'll have an afternoon. We usually eat around 2 or 3 o'clock.
Right.
And that's it. So if we want to snack at night, we might have some popcorn or, just something to eat.
Daylight hours we eat. We try to eat.
Right.
So, and make sure if there's 12 or 15 hours before your next meal, that can help sometimes. But you don't want to eat the exact same time every day.
Or the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you guys use supplemental vitamins or anything like that, or you just try to get all your nutrients?
Yeah, it's all like spinach and kale and
sweet
potatoes.
Yeah, if I do supplementation, I'll do them from food like plant-based vitamins.
Right. Make sure you look for that if you're doing supplements plant-based. Yep.
I love cod liver oil. So we take cod liver oil every day.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. So that's a big one that I do take.
Yeah, kelp. Yeah.
And kelp.
Make sure it's food source. Yeah.
What brand cod liver oil? Is it the Norwegian or?
Nordic Naturals.
We actually had somebody. Where was she from?
Norway.
Norway. She sent us like the original cod liver oil. Stacy cracked it open. She's like, "Ooh." That was good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah.
You guys are awesome. You guys sending us that stuff. All right, you guys are slowing down on the questions. We only got like 2 or 3 guys that are answering all the questions here.
He opened it up a little bit ago about the cooking thing. And I know you don't have solar or wind power, nothing. How do you do your batteries for your charging your phones? Phones.
Yeah, just off the truck was mostly what we use. You can get an inverter actually, and then while we're driving around town, we can charge the laptop or charge that kind of stuff.
Like right now, I'm charging my headlamp. We have a rechargeable one. I'm recharging that for when we come home for tomorrow, so I'll have it.
Yeah. And then we also have a small generator.
Well, I knew about the generator.
Yeah.
But you just, sometimes you need that charge for your phones.
And I just got back from that tiny house thing, and there's a guy there in this company. He's called Humless, and he's all trying to totally get me onto solar power. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but he's going to be getting a hold of me in January. So we'll see what's up. Humless.
Maybe we'll have a solar. I don't know.
I don't know either. I said, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, because I'm very, we get our lanterns here from Lehmans.
Yeah.
We got a lot of different lanterns and things like that. And I just really like the ambiance because, I always talk a lot about health and you have your circadian rhythms. Fortunately at night we have all the lights on and your body's supposed to wind down. So even if you guys have electricity, which I'm sure most of you guys do, maybe you should be turning your lights down or getting some lanterns and turning them on and just kind of setting the mood to get your body to relax so that you're able to sleep better.
It's almost kind of funny when we have people visit our place and they're there when the sun goes down and we're fine with the lights on and stuff and we can see great. They're like, I don't know how you see in here because they're just so used to that big light.
Yeah, our eyes are so much better too.
Right,
My
right.
eyesight is so much better now that we live off grid than it was before. I mean, because normally, you know, as you get older, your eyes get better. But being outside, that's another thing to help strengthen your eyes.
So when we first met, I was handsome. Now I'm really handsome.
Yeah, of course you are. But the lanterns are, I mean, I just love the way, just the ambiance of them. And they also come over and say they're sleepy when they come visit. They're like,
Yeah.
what time is it?
Yeah, my mom was there the other night. She's like, oh, I gotta go home and go to bed. I'm like, it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. But that's good though, because you should want to go. But she would be up late. She just was there with the low light, and so it was like, what time is it?
So do you have anything frozen? How do you keep ice and that kind of thing?
So we do cheat right now with the neighbor has a barn outside, so we put a freezer in there. So that's, you know, just kind of how we do like frozen meat.
Because we have a
freeze
100-year-old
our
ice
buckets.
box. We
Yeah.
have a 100-year-old ice box that we have 5-gallon buckets that we freeze the water in there, and then we put that in the ice box. But then stay tuned because
Stay tuned.
he's making root cellar. And then we're gonna have an ice house in there where I can store ice in there, and then we'll store all of my ferments and all
YouTube
that, which
first.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
should
be good
kind of
times.
cool.
So I'm really trying hard to get that in when we get back, maybe before December or something.
Oh, I
right?
hope so. Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm gonna be really crushing it. Because we just kind of remodeled our whole place, right? We put in floors, we put in doors, we got the ceiling done upstairs. So, you know, we was 7 years we've been living there, so we're trying to get, if you guys can get into your place and do it on the cheap, then just save your money, and then, you know, it takes 6, 7, however you want to do it, 10 years, and then you can enhance those things, and now we have a little better living environment. Not that it was bad or anything, but, you know, it's...
And then you learn what you need as you go on, you know. We had a roof over our head, and then now we don't have insulation over our head anymore. We have
Right.
actual
It's
cedar
really
planks.
kind of different.
So it works good. Any other questions?
That's a mighty big Missouri brim. How many inches is that?
Oh, that's a regulation Amish in our area. This is
Yeah,
about
Ohio
5,
Amish
6
shake
inches.
their head at that.
Yeah,
Way too big.
they have them different regulations every community, right? Like I noticed here, I think there's 3 inches maybe on the ones here in the store. I looked at them, but
I
yeah.
actually had to help Amish trim them.
Oh, yeah.
When
Oh,
they
yeah.
got them cheaper from different places.
Right. So yeah, this is regulation for my neighborhood. I bought it right from them, so couldn't even have it in the store if it wasn't legit.
Yeah.
I've been watching your fermenting videos. I've never fermented, and yeah, and I know we talked, but just
Do you want to know about the
regarding
salt?
content? Do I need to worry about that at all?
Okay, her question was about the fermenting and salt. Some people are worried maybe because of your blood pressure. If you have blood pressure that's affected by salt, you can ferment using whey and not use the salt at all if you're having problems with it. A lot of times, if you ferment one and see how it affects you, and if you notice your blood pressure is going up, then maybe do it with the whey. But you can ferment both ways, with whey, or you can ferment with just the salt. Okay? Or you can do whey with just a teeny bit of salt.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you use whey, do you use the same amount as you do salt?
No, you can do a little, you know, you're gonna put a little bit more in there.
Way more. You guys live next to each other?
The next town.
Not too bad.
Oh, that's
Boom!
okay. There you go.
Now you got a fermenting buddy.
Yeah.
You guys can like be in the kitchen, click on our videos.
Yeah, we didn't know each other as like.
Well, see, there you go.
Nice.
And that's a big thing. We talk about getting mentors or friends
And
that
community.
do the same thing
Right.
that you guys do. Then that way you can run ideas off. Like right now, we're here because a Homestead homie ended up moving right next to where we live, and she is
She's
taking
watching
care
the
of our
place. I
animals.
was wondering where you're going with that.
So it's kind of neat, you know, you start meeting like-minded people, and then you help them and they help you, and it all really works out. So that's what I think is so cool about our community, you know, when you find out other people doing the same thing that you're doing, and then you kind of, you know, bounce ideas off of them.
How long do you leave your crowd out?
Oh.
Some crowd I like.
Here. I mean, you could.
Mine never lasts that
We
long.
don't last it that long.
But like I'll leave sauerkraut after a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But I always eat it by the time.
Yeah. That's an age-old staple, that sauerkraut. I mean,
2 months, 3
they
months.
make those big crocks, and they will get them from one
Yeah.
year to the next year. Yeah.
3 months and it's still full of salt.
Oh.
Really?
You make
Is
it
there,
too
is there
salty?
liquid in it? Is there liquid in it?
You didn't add liquid to it.
No.
Well, no, you can add liquid to it.
When I reopened it, but just check
Right.
again after 3 months.
Oh, maybe try it again and don't.
Did you put salt in it when you made it?
Yes, the brine.
How much salt did you do? Was it a half gallon?
You did a pint, quart?
A quart?
How
For
much
a
did you put
quart
in it?
size, for a quart, you want to do 2 teaspoons.
Okay, that's what I did.
And it's still salty?
That's crazy.
Yeah, normally it shouldn't be that salty.
Yeah.
Maybe you need
Try
to
it
do
again.
Yeah.
Should I throw that away then?
Trial and error.
No, just let it keep
Compost
going.
it.
You can put more water in it and let it keep going and try another one.
Yeah, it shouldn't taste salty, yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
Go ahead.
Since you have a small house, where do you store like the produce and your supplies?
Now there's it depends. I mean, produce.
Produce for us is in jars because we're fermenting
Well,
it like
I'll
crazy.
ferment it all, or depending, what kind of produce. Like if it was our tomatoes and peppers, I'll leave it all in the outside kitchen until we use it, or I'm gonna can the tomatoes, or make salsa with it. But all of our other stuff, because we only have 2 drawers upstairs that is his drawer for clothes and my drawer. We got rid of we don't have any hanger clothes, nothing like that. I roll all of our clothes, our underwear, our
We have a
pants,
crawl space
everything.
too. I built some shelves in, so we do have some storage down there for food, like when we first started canning.
Oh, that's a
So
canning
that
too.
stuff's down there, and then we're going to be putting in the root cellar, which will increase our capabilities. But we're eating food as it's being grown, and then we have the fermented stuff, so you're only using a tablespoon or 2 of that, so that lasts you. So basically, we try to have enough ferments to get us through to the next growing season.
And I got rid
Couple
of
months.
like a lot of redundant type things. Like when we moved, I only have like a spatula. Now I have 1 spatula in the house, 1 spatula in the outside kitchen. 'cause I
Yeah,
don't
now
have
we
the
got 2
kitchen.
spatulas.
But you know what I mean? I don't have a lot
We were
of
just talking
cooking
about food,
things.
man.
No, he said in other things.
Yeah.
Was it just food you were meaning?
Well, I was thinking, I noticed that
Harvesting.
your harvest this year
Right.
was really big.
Yeah,
And to me, that would be a problem.
right,
You
right,
gotta go ahead and, it's all in the outside kitchen until I can process it, and then I process it.
right.
Yeah.
And we're fermenting it. We have several ferments going on all the time. We're eating it, so we're replacing it. I mean, it's like a cycle.
Because by the time you cut up that stuff in those jars, it really, goes away pretty quick.
Right.
So, and I gave some stuff away. Yeah.
How often would you have to go to the grocery store?
That's what I really like about it. I don't need to go to the grocery store that often, and it's great to go in there and know. And you're only supposed to shop on the outside, right? If you go. There's only a few things that I like. Like there's maybe, certain like snack foods maybe, or a chip or something that he likes. But I don't get that much. But see, I shop at the Amish. I buy I'm just giving you trouble. I just like to get 50-pound. I buy everything in bulk at the Amish store.
Yeah, I've been walking out with these 50-pound bag of chips.
But if you guys do, you can make the best out of sweet potatoes and regular potatoes with coconut oil. Homemade potato chips are the best.
Sweet potato chips, all
Yeah,
that.
they're so good. And with coconut oil and popcorn, if you're not doing your popcorn, homemade popcorn with coconut oil is so good.
And how many people get the non-GMO popcorn? There's no such thing actually as a GMO popcorn. So they put that on labels just to appeal to you guys because they know you're being health conscious. But yeah.
Yeah, beet chips are good too.
Yeah, beet chips, yeah.
So.
Good stuff. Man, we love you guys coming out to this stuff. We wanted to, go ahead. Go ahead.
You were talking about getting a new puppy and you had the dog. What kind of raw foods do you give? We have 5. We have big ones.
Yeah.
What type of, dog food. They're going through 100 pounds every 2 weeks.
And you're also killing your dog.
Don't
That's
like
the
that,
bad
but
thing about it. You know
that's
what I
why-
mean?
that's why I'm
They get
asking.
sick, a lot of health. They end up with the same kind of health problems that humans have because our food's so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing videos about it. We did do some videos about it, but
Mm-hmm.
basically a small rundown would be like leg quarters, chicken leg quarters.
And it depends how big the dog is.
Yeah, we're just generally speaking. We're not giving you any
Right.
advice right now. Stay tuned for our videos. We're going to
I'm
show
gonna
you
do a whole
from
thing talking
puppy
about how
to
to
full
start a
size
dog on a raw
dog.
food diet.
But yeah, but like greens, like green beans or
Oh, yeah, they love
carrots.
Cooked spinach. You can do like
spinach.
frozen or in a canned spinach.
Right.
I give them sardines.
Don't they also eat blueberries? Blueberries one of
They
them?
could. But
They
I
could.
don't think
I mean,
we ever did
animals
ours.
can eat a lot, but
Not grapes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, grapes will kill them. That's not good. But yeah, you can do regular
Oats.
kind of meats. They need bones.
Eggs.
Calcium.
Once or twice. but you
Eggs
don't
are
wanna give
okay,
them
not too much, because there's a chemical inside of eggs that could actually get
And
your
the
dog
egg white.
sick.
and
Yeah.
the egg whites.
Yeah, so you just
You don't
want to
wanna
give it
give
to
them all
them
the
just
time.
once in a while. Yeah.
Not every day.
Right.
So how much per meal?
Depends on the weight of the dog.
Okay.
So we're gonna break all this down for you.
Because ours are
Yeah.
75
Yeah.
plus.
Right. So now you'll probably have a transition period too, right? Where you're just kind of moving them that
Exactly.
direction because they're not going to be used to it. But
Right.
when we have one already with our full size dogs on our video channel right now. It's kind of easy going, but we're really going to
Okay.
we're going in. We're going to show you guys how to do it from tiny puppy all the way up.
Yeah, cool.
Because you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can even do it. Because like in the wild, a normal dog, the mother or the father will come back and regurgitate the food and all that. But people try to start these puppies off and giving them like raw food,
With
big
the whole
chicken, here you
bone.
go. And then they wonder why they're sick or constipated or have diarrhea or whatever. So we're going to break it all down
do
for
it
you
all.
guys.
Cool.
Yes, dear. Where do we go to the restroom?
Right.
It's right down the hall and then you make a right. Oh, where do we go? Oh, we have a bucket. So we do a composting toilet, and then when we go to the restroom in this bucket, it's not really like you don't sit on a bucket. It's like a nice little thing around it with a toilet seat. And then we take that and we make a compost bin out of it.
Well,
So
once
then-
the bucket's filled up. When the
yeah,
bucket
we
gets
put
filled up-
sawdust in it and everything else, and then we make a compost bin, and then from there we have nice compost to enrich our soil.
And does anyone here have a composting toilet? No.
Well, alrighty then. I was reading on the way here, real quick. We were stopped at a truck stop gas station place, and there was a urinal in there, and it was a no water urinal, right? I've never really seen one before, but they had a plaque right there. They said that the average urinal is 40,000 gallons of water that it uses. So just start thinking about that, right? Like how much water is in a flushing toilet or a urinal like that. And so, I've heard like a couple of years ago, they were starting to say that water is going to be like the new gold or oil because they're trying to say like it's getting scarce, but, everybody should have it. So just if you can stay conscious of that kind of stuff, you make the world a better place.
Yeah, Glenda, what were you saying about the washing machine? How many gallons does that use?
Oh, right.
A conventional washing machine can take 30 or 40 gallons per load, and if you use a breathing hand washer or ringer washer, you're down to about 3 gallons per load. So multiply that by millions of people that are using a typical washing machine. We maybe have time for one more, but there is a sun oven.
Oh, right. Yep, Paul will be ready. Yeah, so you guys got to get up and stretch out a little bit and then sit right back down and listen to Paul talk about the sun oven and ask questions about it. Go ahead, last question.
What made you decide to go
Hold on. I'm sorry. Before this guy answers this question, he got out of his deer stand and came all the way here to see us from South Carolina. Man. All right, now go ahead. I had to give you props for that, man. That was huge. I was like feeling special.
What made you decide to go with the Kidron sheep, and is the meat taste any different than
Yes.
a bull sheep?
Okay. First reason why is because we don't want to shear animals. She wanted to have the alpacas. I went ahead like a good husband and let her try it. But, we don't have any electricity, so that's a big chore, right? So the second reason is parasite load. They really are known for not really having a lot of parasite problems. Second or third is like the heat. We're in a high heat, high humidity area. They handle it really well. They never have a problem with it. They're prolific birthers. So they'll have one on the first off, and then they're good for twins and triplets 2 times a year.
Wow.
Right?
Easy.
Great
We get them
breed of
twice a
sheep.
year.
Yep. Let's see, what's another one?
Well, and the meat tastes better because
I was
you
just
don't
gonna say.
have the oils like a regular wool sheep.
Right.
Yeah. So the meat is just,
So,
have you eaten more than a year old?
Actually, we haven't because we've been in the cycle the whole time. But rumor has it is even a 2-year-old Kidron won't have that gamey mutton taste.
so we
right?
get them all under a year. We take it, we go ahead and butcher them
Yeah.
like that.
And we sell them. There's actually been Homestead homies that follow us, and then they're like, oh, they see they
And
just
they get
had
our
babies,
babies.
and they come and buy. We sell 4, 5, 6 at a time. I showed you guys that video about making money selling them. So just another way you guys can do it if you have the
Yeah,
land.
Kidrons are, I'm just telling
just a
you,
good breed of
ready to
sheep.
go. They're really
Right.
good. They're easy going, and they're really, really easy.
And they have good. They put on the meat.
Okay, last question. That was
No,
the
that's
last
it.
question. That's it.
Hey, you guys.